What's going on, everybody? Lou from Life Beyond the Panels, and it's time for another top 10. These are the comic books that I got last week on July 22nd, and it was pretty cool. Actually, I went away this weekend, and I got to read a lot of these actually at an Airbnb, which was pretty awesome. So, without further ado, let's jump into the comics. Now, first, I'm going to give you guys the honorable mentions. These are the comics that didn't quite get to the top 10, but I mean, they were still good. The first one we have here is Amazing Spider-Man. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 33. It actually wasn't too bad. I actually really enjoyed it, but just wasn't good enough to get into the top 10. Next up, we have Justice League Unlimited. This is issue number 21. Again, pretty solid, just wasn't quite consistent enough for me to get into the top 10. Surprisingly, Absolute Wonder Woman, issue number 22, didn't make it into the top 10. And last but not least, I actually thought this was a big improvement. Issue number 4 is Zatanna. I am going to keep pulling this one. Really enjoyed this issue, getting to learn about the Prime Magus, but just wasn't good enough to get into that top 10. But now, let's get to those worthy comics. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 300, or issue number 20 of this current run. Now, I'll be honest, I did not read the backup story in this. I just really wanted to read the main story. Maybe at some time in the future I'll go to the backup story. But it was really for time purposes. I didn't want to read the whole entire thing, and the backstory doesn't really matter too much anyway. What was really cool with this is the emotion that we get here from Casey Jones, who really wants to get to see his mother who has passed. And now that the Turtles have gotten their mother back from the dead, they show him a way. Basically, he sees how it happens through this door knocker, that he can see his mother, and she comes back for a short moment. But then the Turtles' mother says, no, this cannot happen. Prior, she was given a warning that if anybody should happen to come through this portal and come back from the dead, you're responsible and you have to send them back. And eventually you're going to have to get yourself back to the dead as well. So, highly emotional issue. Raphael tries to help out by relying on Karai, which was probably a really bad thing to do since she never has good intentions. And yeah, overall, really, really awesome story. This builds us up to this next arc because the portal, spoiler alert, was opened. And yeah, I think a lot of crazy things are going to happen. And unfortunately, I do think that eventually the Turtles' mother is going to have to leave because she seems like she's a nice lady. But anyway, yeah, Turtles issue number 20 ends up being number 10 on the countdown. Coming in at number 9 on the countdown is going to be Excommunicated number 3. This continues to be a really awesome book by Vault Comics. Again, love the dynamic between the demon and between Josephine, who is the nun who was excommunicated. It's a great conspiracy going on here regarding why all this happened, why she was called onto this exorcism, why she was kicked out of the church. We see something here with Father Santos betraying Josephine, and another demon comes into play here, which was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? So really, really awesome book. Loving Excommunicated so far. I think it's probably going to be just a mini-series. I don't see how it couldn't be a mini-series, but I think this one has been really awesome so far, and it hits number 9 on the countdown. Coming in at number 8 is going to be The Flash, issue number 35. DC, Ryan North, continues to be just a nice, lighthearted, fun comic book. You read this and it's like the stakes feel so low, yet it's just so fun. Wally still trying to figure out what's going on with his new powers and being able to predict things now, and just like some creative things that he can do with the Speed Force. It's been really a blast to see as he rediscovers himself post DCKO. So yeah, I've been loving The Flash, and it gets number 8 on the countdown. Coming in at number 7 on the countdown is going to be Action Comics issue number 1100. This is an awesome milestone issue. Now, this particular issue, I did actually read the entire thing because there were stories going on from each of the Superman comics, essentially. But the main crux of it, this book, I said in the weekly polls, the haul video, that this has been the book that has been the most aligned with going with like the mystery of like where is Superman since DCKO ended. And we get a piece of that answer here. Also, now we're going to be going into a new event that's going to be starting. That's going to include Action Comics, Superman, Supergirl, and Superman Unlimited. So we get a little bit of that in the different 4 stories here. So we get a little piece of Supergirl, a little piece of Superman Unlimited towards the end. But the main crux of the book happened to be the regular Action Comics with the young Clark Kent, which was really awesome. There were really some awesome sequences here where Clark gets to see the future and gets to see different things that Superman experiences throughout his life. And yeah, there was even one really awesome part where they being Martian Manhunter and Booster Gold, where they don't want Clark to look and see what happens. And, you know, that was during the whole Doomsday event. So this was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. Great artwork, of course, by Dan Mora. He's amazing. And yeah, really enjoyed Action Comics this week, getting number 7 on the countdown. Coming in at number 6 on the countdown was Marc Spector Moon Knight. I absolutely love this. First of all, this cover is pretty awesome too. You know, we'll see if it makes the wall at the end of the video, but what an awesome cover, and what a really cool comic. You know, the Midnight Mission is missing, currently basically been swallowed up by this haunted house, essentially. And yeah, Moon Knight calls on the help of Clea Strange, and Clea Strange is like, all right, we have to get the Midnight Suns back in play. So it's basically a recruitment issue of Moon Knight going to get Blade, he gets Robbie, Ghost Rider, Daredevil, and yeah, they're now going to be the Midnight Suns and going to try and figure out what happened to the Midnight Mission. Pretty simple issue, basic issue, but yet still so awesome, and it gets you hyped up for what's coming next from Moon Knight. So yeah, Moon Knight, super amazing, awesome, exciting, love it. If you're not getting it, Jed MacKay does such a great job. Yes, that's all I got to say, because it's just great. So, but it comes in number 6 on the countdown. Coming in at number 5 on the countdown is going to be Odin, issue number 3. Now, this continues to be just a really, really good mystery. We have Adela, who has been undercover during this entire time, but when you read the issue, it seems like things might be getting a little bit scary for her. Maybe they might know who she is. We're getting some kind of inklings potentially, but the big thing is here, we get the death of another cult member. We get this guy on the cover, this really terrifying beast who wreaks havoc on this group. And yeah, some weird stuff going on. The white supremacist stuff is crazy. The ideology and the thoughts that these people have are almost very primitive, and it's really interesting to see how these people are acting. They're unlikable. Everybody in here is unlikable because of the way that they think. But yet, it's still such an amazing mystery, and it really feels like it's the forest, the woods that are eating them alive. And it's been such an amazing book. James Tynion is doing a really good job with this. I think it maybe is an 8-issue miniseries. I'm not really sure, but so far, really loving Odin. It gets number 5 on the countdown. Coming in at number 4 on the countdown is probably one of the most anticipated books we've had in quite a while. And that is going to be Terminal, issue number 1 by Robert Kirkman. Now, I knew nothing about what this comic could possibly be about. I didn't really read much about it. I just saw Robert Kirkman, issue number 1. Sign me up. I'm in. So, and yeah, this did not disappoint. We get to meet these 2 groups. You got basically the bad guys and the good guys, right? You got the Activators and you have the Awoken. We learn about this character, which is like this big eye called Maculux. And yeah, basically this is like a new superhero book, essentially. Similarities, really, Robert Kirkman even says it in the book, in his letters section, to his inspiration being the X-Men. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see how he does it. I mean, I really feel like it's going to be a good book. He says it's going to be a nice, long, ongoing book. And I think that's pretty exciting. And I'm pretty excited to be part of this on the, right here from issue number 1. Has a really shocking ending, too, that I did not see coming. But, I mean, this is Robert Kirkman. He's going to do things that you just sometimes don't see coming. And I really enjoyed that about this. Also, super amazing artwork. So, yeah, I would say hop on Terminal right away. Do not wait. This is going to be a good one. Robert Kirkman is definitely cooking on this one, and it gets number 4 on the countdown. Coming in at number 3 on the countdown is going to be Batman Detective Comics, issue number 111 by Tom Taylor. And I've been saying that this arc is one that I really want to reread, and I want to reread it even more now because this issue is so good. As things have been pieced together now with finding out the mystery of what happened to this character named Prion, who was essentially working with, I was supposed to say Black Panther, with Green Arrow and Black Canary in the past. You know, he died, and here we actually find out how he died, who was responsible for his death, but then we find out so much more that's been going on, and so many, I mean, it's Detective Comics, so many different things are starting to get uncovered, yet we are still not done with this arc. I think it has one more issue left to go in it. Artwork has been fantastic in this book, been loving that. And yeah, this is 2 arcs in a row from Detective Comics from Tom Taylor that he is just doing some amazing stuff. This makes me want to go back and get the past issues of the Tom Taylor run to try and have the entire Tom Taylor run in single issues. So I'm going to have to go back and look, because I started collecting it at the beginning of the last arc. And yeah, this has been just fantastic. Again, I can't wait to reread it and really sit down and enjoy it and love it whenever I reread this run again. So yeah, Detective Comics issue 1111 was not number 1, number 3, but still great. Coming in at number 2 on the countdown is going to be Superman issue number 40. Now, it was really tough to decide whether this is going to be number 1 or number 2, but it ends up getting number 2, but could have easily been number 1. It continues to be such an amazing, great character comic book, as we've had Superboy Prime in the forefront of the comic book. And everything that's been going on with this battle here with Manchester Black and being inside the comic books and all the fourth wall breaking. Sometimes fourth wall breaking can get pretty annoying, but here it's not, because it resonates with the reader in such a great way as being a comic book fan and him being a huge comic book fan. And yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see where Superman, this comic book, now goes going forward, as I think we are going to now be shifting back to Superman. You know, we'll see after this next event that happens, which is going to involve all these different Superman comic books. But yeah, and again, once again, Dan More's artwork is simply outstanding. And this whole Superman, like, Joshua Williamson just does such a good job on the book. I don't know what else I can really say. I don't want to really say too much about the comic book itself. I mean, he had an amazing fight with Manchester Black. We had some great character moments. And, you know, that was pretty much it. But yet that was enough. That was enough to make you really, really enjoy it. So, yeah, Superman, it gets number 2 on the countdown. Coming in now at number 1 is going to be another Superman. That's going to be Absolute Superman, issue number 21. Now, this was really awesome. To put in perspective how surprising this may be that this is issue number 20, this is number 1 on the countdown, I'm definitely more drawn to a more emotion, more character-driven, and less action. Books that are generally a lot more action, I don't really enjoy as much. Yet this was very different, just because there was that emotion while the action was going on. Lois hoping that Superman doesn't die, Jimmy hoping that Superman doesn't die, Superman doubting if he could even live, and the way that he ends up resolving everything was really amazing. Artwork, again, so good in this book. Like, you're just so excited, and like, by the end of this book, the emotions, like, it's really, really so good. And even if it's not that different from a regular Superman book, it still feels very different. It feels iconic. It feels almost Gladiator-esque. Gladiator-esque? I don't know. Like Gladiator is what I'm kind of talking about. And yeah, I mean, and then we get a nice little cliffhanger at the end. I don't know if the cliffhanger is going to get resolved now or later on. Who the heck really knows? But it doesn't matter. Also, we see something from Jimmy Olsen that's like, wow, this Jimmy Olsen is so different than regular Jimmy Olsen. Lois Lane is so different than regular Lois Lane. And I think those two are really the standouts, that, like, Superman is Superman. Superman's trying to make everybody be good. But those two being so different in this is really, I feel like, what makes this even better. Yeah, so this was just such a good, like, from page 1 to the final page of the book, everything was awesome. Such a great battle. Love we got out of Absolute Hawkman here as well. And yeah, I mean, Absolute Black Adam was definitely a beast. And yeah, I mean, he was just, like, terrifying how difficult he was for Superman to have to deal with. And I mean, look at Superman here. He looks like a complete disaster. When the last time he looked like this? When he got killed by Doomsday, right? Well, you know, here he's standing, but he's battered and bruised too. Let's not kid ourselves here. So I'm going to give some weekly awards at the end of the video before we figure out what's going to be the next cover going on the back wall. So, book of the week, you guys already know it. We talked about it. That's Absolute Superman issue number 21. The best new series? Well, I only read one new series, but that is, of course, Terminal. And you know what? This might be the next new series, the best new series that we have for quite a while. I mean, this sets the bar for number ones, and I'm being a little bit more picky about buying my number ones, and I'll tell you, it's going to be hard to top this one. This could be the best number one we have all year. The best mystery at this point is probably going to have to go to Detective Comics. It keeps on unraveling, and the more it unravels, the more intense and crazy and fun it gets. The best team up is going to have to definitely be a Moon Knight. I mean, what about this team that he's putting together right here? Blade, Daredevil, Ghost Rider Clea. Like, it's going to be sick. I can't wait to see there will be more episodes of this, more issues of this. The most consistently fun at this point has got to be The Flash. It's been such a great palate cleanser comic book. Been really enjoying it. Nice, carefree, fun. The Flash definitely gets that award. Biggest pleasant surprise has to be Zatanna, issue number 4. You know, like I said, I was afraid I was going to have to actually drop this comic book, and I was prepared to drop it and read it on DC Infinite, but I'm glad that this issue really ties everything together and helps you understand it more, and actually gets me excited to see what we're going to get in issue number 5. So yeah, pretty happy about Zatanna. And the biggest disappointment, I don't have it here to show you because I'm reading on DC Infinite, and that was Green Lantern issue number 36, which I read. And I have to say, I am not liking this Kyle Rayner run so far. I really hope Hal Jordan comes back soon, because the Kyle Rayner stuff with Odyssey has been weird and just not really fun to read. So let me know, comment below if you guys have been reading that and if you guys have been enjoying the Green Lantern since Kyle Rayner has been taking over the book. And now it's time to figure out what's going to be the next cover to go on the wall here. It's going to be covering up, it's going to be taking over for the Amazing Spider-Man up there, the Talk cover. So let's see, I have 4 potential covers that can be the best cover of the week, and you guys let me know what you guys think, but let's figure it out. We got the Amazing Spider-Man. I love this cover here with him basically having the whole world on his shoulders because he's got a lot of crap going on right now. Yeah, so yeah, I think this is definitely a nice little potential cover to go up there, and it would replace another Amazing Spider-Man cover. I love this Absolute Superman cover. The fact I'm like, first of all, I love the colors on it, but like the fact that he's just so beaten up and the way his cape looks is really awesome, and having the hammer from Steel is really awesome. I think this is a really sick cover. So I like this one a lot as well. I love this Moon Knight cover. I mean, we have Moon Knight and we have Blade on here. Really sick. This is a really, really cool cover. And the last cover we'll look at here is the Zatanna number 4 cover. This is really cool. We have the Upside Down Man up over here. Zatanna in all the black. This is a Hecate. I forget his name exactly. This is a sick cover. This is a really sick cover as well. Wow, how am I going to decide this? What do you guys think? What cover are you guys thinking? Man, how do we decide this? All right, well, I think I'm going to pass on Amazing Spider-Man. This Zatanna cover is so nice. I do have a Zatanna cover up there already, though, so I'm not going to put this up there. Looking up on my wall right now, I also have an Absolute Superman cover up there as well. So, and I don't have a Moon Knight cover up my wall right now, so I think it's going to have to go to Moon Knight. Moon Knight's going to make it up on my wall. So let's go do that. Amazing Spider-Man, the Talk. You're down. Moon Knight and Blade. Welcome to the wall. If you guys like this video, I appreciate you guys watching. As always, stick around. We're going to have our next weekly haul video coming up. And yeah, click the like button, the subscribe button, the bell, all that good stuff. And until next time, see ya.